Welcome to the downstairs of my tiny home. As you step downstairs and you turn right, you are into the galley, aka the kitchen. I spend a lot of my time here because I do like to bake and cook, but ultimately this is where I store my Smeg coffee machine, and I need about 3 or 4 cups a day to get me through. But over here we have our oven, and our oven here is on a gimbal, so it always stays nice and level no matter the sea conditions. I'm currently cooking a delicious fresh loaf of bread. Over here I had this compartment made. It does encroach into the outside storage cupboard, but it's where I house my air fryer and my kettle. Honestly, I don't know how I lived without an air fryer before. It is a game changer, especially on a boat when you've got limited surface area and like cooking area. Here is my fridge. Excuse the state. It's pretty small, so you can't store a huge amount, but it's super efficient. It's the original 1997 fridge, and they don't make them like they used to, and it keeps everything nice and cold. I do have quite a lot of storage space, but again, you don't need too much when it's just 1 or 2 of you on the boat. And if you have friends over, I've got spares. I've got quite a lot of cupboard storage. It's where I keep a lot of my dry goods, but most of the dry goods are kept under the seats. So as you step forward, you're now into the saloon area. So the saloon is my lounge, but like most things on a boat, it doubles up. So not only is it my lounge, it's also my dining area. This table here pops up and it seats a good like 8 people on board, which is crazy on a 35-foot yacht. But also it's where I store my freezer. I've only had a freezer on board for the last like 3 months. I don't know how I lived without one. It's a game changer because I can store vegetables that don't go off, because vegetables and fruit on the boat, I don't know what it is. I think it's the salt air. It just makes everything go off and it's not great. But you move forward, you are now into the spare guest cabin. Look, I'm 6'1", and like, oh, I don't even touch the end of the bed. So it's pretty comfy, but it's not really a cabin 99% of the time. It's a storeroom. It's where I keep my washing, my fresh water, solar panels, everything that I don't want in my main cabin. So as we go back through, we are now at my navigation desk. So the hub of the boat, what controls everything. So it doubles up as my office. Thankfully, because I've got Starlink, how I upload these videos, I can work from home. But it's where I keep and control all the electronics on the boat, how I monitor all of my systems, the input and the output. It's a pretty important space. It's also where I do all my navigation work. But as we go down the corridor, we are now into my little oasis on the boat. It's my aft cabin. This is the reason I bought the boat. As I walked in here, I was like, I can live here. I'm 6'1". I've got headroom throughout the entire cabin. It's a full walk around. You don't have to clamber over each other. There's such a great amount of storage. I've got 2 dog beds in here because I've got 2 dogs on board at the moment. But even like a full wardrobe, so much cupboard space. I can monitor my boat systems when I'm in bed. It's just so good. And I also have engine access, which is really important, but it's easy access. I've got great ventilation. Also, these blinds from Breeze Blinds, it's a blackout blind. It means I don't have to worry about the sunlight. But as we go back through, we're in the bathroom. The bathroom of my boat is the most stressful part of boat life. The floor here doubles up as a shower tray, but it is actually tiny, so I can just about stand up. It's a bathroom. My boat's a Westerly. I suffer with something called a Westerly sag, where the ceilings fall down. I only suffer with this, thankfully at the moment, in the bathroom, but it's where I shower as well. But I do have the best views, so that's one good thing, I suppose. So as I said, most of my storage is under the seat. So under here is where I keep my dried goods. I've also got my batteries. I've got my toolkits. I don't want to get wet upstairs when they're in the outside garage area. So this boat is pretty chocker, but when you own a boat, when you live on a boat, you realise that you don't need that much to live. Now we're up on deck. Up on deck is my garden, my backyard, but it's also where you steer and you sail the boat from. So this is my cockpit area. It's nice and enclosed, and the ride height is quite high off of the waterline. Here I've got my Axiom Pro 9-inch screen, which is basically my sat nav of the sea, where I plan my routes. I can also watch Netflix on here if you've seen my other stories. And yeah, I've got my winches and clutches over here. This boat is set up for single-handed sailing, so all of the lines come back to the cockpit, so it's for ease of use. Behind me here, because I'm a centre cockpit boat, I have my solar panels. My bedroom is down here, but this area here I use for washing the dog down, having a shower on. I've got my Starlink, my bathing platform. I'm gonna go for a shower. Over here, my barbecue. Again, such a great investment. As we move forward, we've got the mast. This is where I keep my solar panels. They move, they're really, really good. I can move them in the sun. I've got my electric windlass, which makes anchoring a dream. It's just a really nice space, which I can walk around. So under here is the biggest locker in the world. It stores everything like you have in the garage. So your diving gear, wetsuits, spare oil drums, lines I'm not using. So everything goes in there. Oh, I honestly, I do love my boat. It's really taught me how to simplify life and that you don't really need much. My washing at the front is a month old, bit gross, but like I barely have any clothes. But that's my boat tour, so that's what you get. She's always changing, she's always being upgraded. Well, that is my boat tour. Could you live on a boat? Let me know in the comments.